The beginning of this great story would give in the training in which Goku was watching as the Supreme Kaio-sama. He was able to release all the hidden power of Gohan, so his power had grown in an impressive way.
Wow, Gohan's power is amazing! Apparently the ability that he claims to have is truly amazing. I appreciate it. I feel like my power has risen in an incredible way. I'm sure now I'll be able to beat Majin Buu.
I trust you, because the power that I've been able to unlock is of another level. Moreover, I have never unlocked so much hidden power in my existence.
I'm proud of you, son, and to put an end to this evil of Majin Buu.
Goku would leave to end the battle with Majin Buu. However, the events of the story would take place normally, because due to Gohan's overconfidence, Majin Buu absorbed the fusion of Gotenks, being defeated very easily. But Goku, with his great power in Super Saiyan Phase 3, was able to give him much more battle, having received the life of the Supreme Being. At the end of the battle, with that little demon, all the warriors had returned to planet Earth. However, Goku looked very thoughtful, something that was weird in that Saiyan since all this charisma was smiling.
Hey Bug, what's wrong with you? Why are you so thoughtful?
The power of Majin Buu. It turned out to be amazing. He was even able to force us to do the fusion. We have to train much harder, Vegeta.
I agree with you, Kakarot, but we don't know how we'll be able to overcome our limits.
I think I'll go to the mountains to meditate, to look for a way to increase my power much more, because if any new enemy appears and is much more powerful than Majin Buu, we won't be able to do anything.
I'm gonna train several gravity machines that Bulma's built.
Both Saiyans left, while Goku, when reaching the limits of the mountains, would begin his great meditation, with which he tried to overcome his limits. But he'd remember, as that Supreme, he was able to release all the power of Gohan.
That's the idea. I'll ask the Supreme to release all my power in the same way. I'm sure that with that, I'll be able to raise my power in a much faster way.
Goku would quickly use teleportation, arriving to the planet of the Supreme Kaio-samas, so he would instantly arrive. He would meet the Supreme.
Supreme Kaio-sama, I ask you to unlock my power in the same way. I also want to become much stronger. I want to be able to protect the entire planet Earth.
But Goku, you already have enough power to face any warrior. It's not necessary that you release all your power.
But throughout Universe 7, the essence of the powerful god Beerus would be perceived by all the warriors of divine energy, and these were the Supreme Kaio-samas. So the Supreme felt how his whole body trembled.
If Beerus, the god of destruction, awakens, I'm sure he'll destroy everything in his path. He was the one who sealed me on that sword millions of years ago. I think it would be a best idea to unlock all the hidden power of Goku. I'll tell him all this all the same, so that Goku's not excited by the presence of a god of destruction.
Please, Supreme, I implore you, I'll do anything.
You've convinced me, Goku. Okay, I'll unlock all your hidden power for you because I know you'll be able to help even all the other planets in this space.
Of course, yes. Leave that in my hands. I plan to protect all beings who need it.
The Supreme Kaio-sama would start with the ritual to be able to release all the hidden power of Goku. So unlike Gohan on this occasion, it would take him 2 weeks, realizing that Goku's energy veins were sealed from his birth. That's very strange. It seems that someone sealed the veins of pure Saiyan bloods, because this can only be passed down from generation to generation. Releasing Goku's hidden power was taken much longer than necessary, but the Supreme was able to emanate a little of his power through all of Goku's energy veins, so all the seals that were already weakened by the ritual were completely destroyed. Instantly, Goku felt as his base power had even multiplied by 50, as if he had transformed into Super Saiyan.
This is amazing! Now I'll release all my power to be able to realize what my maximum power is.
Goku would begin to expel all the power, starting to cause various disasters all over the place, because Goku's power was much greater than Gohan's power. That's right, the calm and the warm environment had changed to an environment of total destruction. While Goku's hair would turn a greenish color, while his power seemed to have no limits, from a big explosion it was possible to observe Goku with that powerful transformation. But not only 2 seconds later, Goku would fall to the ground due to the excess energy. Wow, apparently his body's not able to withstand all that power. But it is understandable. Power he's releasing is of another level, nor am I able to assimilate it. After a few days, Goku had completely recovered, being able to stand up and feeling his great increase in power.
Your increase in power is much more noticeable because I previously gave you my life, and that gave you the advantage of possessing a little of the essence of a supreme being.
That's to say that right now, I could be considered equally a supreme Kaio-sama.
No, nothing of that. Only through your body runs the essence of a supreme being, or rather the divinity. And with the power that I have unlocked in you, that power has only grown in a much more incredible way, giving it a plus of energy.
Wow, this is amazing. Now I want to try my new powers. I'm going to train in the time room to control all this power.
Goku would say goodbye to the Supremes, quickly heading to planet Earth, arriving in a matter of seconds. So he'd head to the Holy Temple, asking the Earth God for the time room.
Please, will you let me use the time room, since I have to become much more powerful in case an enemy more powerful than Majin Buu appears?
Don't worry, Mr. Goku. You've been the savior of planet Earth. On multiple occasions, there's no problem.
Goku would enter the time room, starting with his rigorous training. However, despite taking his body to the limit, he was not able to access that transformation, which turned his hair a greenish color. However, all the essence had merged with his body, being able to release all that power and any transformation he wishes.
I'm satisfied with all the power I've achieved, although I'm sure I'm still able to exceed my limits much more, but I want to relax for a few days.
Goku would leave the Room of Time, heading home. Meanwhile, in a very distant place, the powerful god of destruction Beerus had fully awakened.
Hey, Whis, what happened to Planet Vegeta? That guy Frieza, if I destroy him as I've ordered.
That's right, Mr. Beerus. 99% of all Saiyans were eradicated from this universe. There are currently only 3 purebred Saiyans alive.
That doesn't matter anymore, since it's only 3 insignificant Saiyans. But now I have to end Frieza's life, since he thinks he's better than me.
Mr. Beerus, that'll be impossible for you, since Frieza was defeated by one of the surviving Saiyans. Beerus would be surprised by that information, asking to fight against that Saiyan who was even able to defeat Frieza. But Mr. Beerus, that's not all, since he was able to defeat a very powerful demon, which was even able to give battle to the Supreme.
That sounds more and more interesting. Being able to defeat Frieza and even end the life of a demon that's able to eliminate the Supremes. I really want to fight with that guy.
Both deities were heading quickly to the planet of the Kai, because with this help of Whis Piccolo, they realized that Goku was training in that territory. So the Northern Kaio-sama would realize that the God of Destruction was heading towards the planet would panic, because he knew that Goku would ask him to fight.
Goku, I want you to leave immediately, or hide in my house. It's an order.
But why? What did I do? Something you didn't like? If so, you could tell me. I won't do it again. I just want to keep training. Please.
But before he's able to say anything, both deities prostrated themselves in front of Goku. So Goku, despite not being able to feel the ki of the gods, was able to feel a strange sensation which warned him of the imminent danger that he had in front of him.
Wow, what's that I feel in my body? It's the first time my own body warns me that it feels threatened. Even with Majin Buu, I felt this feeling.
Kaio, long time no see. And in order not to dwell on the matter, I want to talk to the Saiyan who's able to defeat Frieza and that demon named Majin Buu.
Of course, Mr. Beerus, as you order.
Meanwhile, on the planet of the Supremes, the Supreme who unlocked Goku's power would say to himself,
"The day has come in which the most powerful Saiyan will face the most powerful god of all the universes, but I'm sure that battle won't be easy for him."
Returning with both of them to the planet of the Kai, Goku was face to face with Beerus.
From what I realize, you're very powerful, and I'd like to measure myself in combat with you.
Well. Apparently you have the necessary guts. As to ask the god of destruction to face you. What do you think, Whis?
I find it curious that a mere mortal is able to ask him for combat, if he has enough confidence in his power, or he really has nothing in his head.
You're right, Whis, but I didn't make the trip in vain. So I plan to accept the combat to this Saiyan. I want you to show me the power that's able to finish with those 2 iconic warriors.
Don't hesitate. I'm going to show you all my power. The power I've achieved with hard training.
Goku began to release all his power, so he was able to access the Super Saiyan 3. But the power he released this time was crazy, since he was able to feel all over the universe, despite being in a very different dimension.
That's Kakarot's power. I can't believe how he's able to raise his power. But who is the warrior he faces with all that power?
What do you think? Is he even ready?
I can tell that power you possess is incredible, because despite everything you are a mere mortal. That power is insufficient to face a god like me.
Confident, Beerus would release 3% of all his power, so he would launch into the attack, but was surprised realizing how the Saiyan was able to dodge each of his blows. And being off guard, Goku was able to connect a kick successfully, making him crash in a brutal way, which even surprised Whis. Did Mr. Beerus trust himself? No, even though this Confident, the most powerful god of all the universes, could not fall with that incredible power. What is this Saiyan? Beerus would stand up a little angry. However, Goku, without giving him time to recover, would begin to grant him several blows, which left all the spectators surprised. Beerus, being able to find an opening, was able to expel 25% of all his power, with which he was able to take full control of the battle, but the power he had expelled was an outrage. Since it was a simple mortal, Beerus would, at a great speed, grant him a great blow to Son Goku's neck, which would make him lose consciousness.
You have amazing power, but you're not the Super Saiyan God I'm looking for.
Both Dd's, when they were about to leave, as if it was from Goku's body, an incredible power was being released. That's right, Goku's power could begin to grow in an amazing way. While he released all that aura, he released a greenish color, just like his hair. It will be better to transport them from planet, since the small planet won't be able to withstand all this power. Whis, with a great power, was able to take both warriors to an inhospitable planet of the entire Universe 7. But at the moment of arrival, an incredible explosion could be observed. While Goku's power seemed to have no limits, and as if it were a beast, he would give a blow to Beerus in the stomach, which made him lose consciousness almost, sending him flying hundreds of kilometers, while Goku continued to expel a large amount of energy. The power that Goku was releasing was a bestiality. So much, even for his own body, but having unlocked all the hidden potential, even his own body would become much more resistant than normal, since he was able to withstand those powerful loads of power without his speed being compromised. This is amazing. The power of that Saiyan is still growing amazingly. It has even grown so much that I can't exactly measure it, but it compares to the power of a low-level god. From all that, over the place of a big explosion would be felt. That's right, Beerus had recovered from that powerful blow, releasing 50% of all his power, being furious because that blow had caused him incredible pain.
Damn monkey, I swear I'll end your pathetic life. I don't know how you've been able to release all that power, but you won't be able to cope with my 50% power.
Beerus, as if it were a lightning bolt, would be able to position himself in front of Goku, being able to grant a big blow to Goku in his face. But his surprise was noticeable to realize that he hadn't been able to move Goku, despite all the power he had used in his fist. Is that all? The simple words of Goku created several disasters around the place. That's right, his voice was much more chilling. As he released his supreme authority, Goku would hold the hand of Beerus, and instantly would hold his face in a quick movement, being able to sink it into the entire crust of that planet. I can't believe it. Mr. Beerus, despite using 50% of all his power, he's not able to defend himself. I think I'll have to intervene or something very bad may happen. Beerus, quickly without trusting himself, would release 100% of all his power, with which he was able to grant him a great kick, sending him flying to another planet, destroying him completely.
Don't worry, Whis, but it's amazing that this Saiyan was able to make me use 100% of all my power. It's even more amazing that I don't possess the power of a god.
That's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about, Mr. Beerus, since I can notice how from his entire body of that Saiyan, an amazing divine power is being released.
Whis, don't say stupid things. I'm not able to feel anything, and not able to release the essence of a god without proper training.
Goku would recover from that powerful blow, and with a smile, he would begin to have a very equal battle with the God of Destruction. That's right, the power that Goku released on this occasion was an outrage, even for a God of Destruction. Meanwhile, on the Supreme Planet, beings were likewise witnessing the catastrophic battle.
Apparently, I have done an excellent job of unlocking 100% of Son Goku's ability, since not even a god is able to stop him, and he has not yet released my divine essence.
Beerus would begin to give him another blow again, making him fall to the ground. But this time all the internal organs of Goku were suffering an amazing damage, because the power with which Beerus was impacting his body was of another level.
The blows this time hurt me too much, but I'm not gonna give up. I have to be able to beat him.
Goku would stand up, but he would fall to his knees again, because the damage he had received was serious. Even his hair was beginning to lose that green luster, turning black again, and his power had plummeted in an amazing way.
Apparently you've reached your limits, Saiyan. You turned out to be very powerful, but not so powerful as to stand up to me, the most powerful god.
What is this that I feel? It's a warm power, but at the same time it feels like it burns my whole body. I have to be able to expel this power.
Beerus was starting to get closer to Son Goku, but to his surprise, he was able to feel how Goku's injured body was able to emanate the essence of a god. But this time, it was surprising pressure, which was able to spread throughout the Universe 7, but without causing destruction as the previous power.
I warned you, Mr. Beerus, that this is the same essence that I had felt a few moments ago, but on a much smaller scale of power.
Goku was able to access the Super Saiyan God, so the color of his hair had turned a reddish color. However, Goku seemed to be very confused.
Hey, what is this transformation? I've never accessed this power before. I even feel like my insides are burning with an amazing power, and I'm not able to feel my power.
You're a fool. That power you're emanating is the power of a god. How are you the Super Saiyan God I was looking for?
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never accessed this power before. But what do you think if we continue with this struggle?
It seems excellent to me, because despite possessing the power of a god, your power has plummeted greatly. Beerus quickly fell down against Goku, but Goku, at a much higher speed, was able to get on his forehead, starting to grant him a shower of blows, which this time were capable of causing great damage to the god Beerus. Goku, with a kick, would throw Beerus to the base of the planet, being dragged a few kilometers.
Wow, this power's amazing. I can't believe the power that I have been able to release in this transformation. While I don't feel my power, I'm able to feel my body full of energy.
Mr. Beerus, are you alright? Apparently the power of that Saiyan turned out to be much greater than his power, since he is in deplorable conditions. Damn it. I don't plan to be defeated by a simple Saiyan. I have to be able to defeat him, even if I have to use the power beyond a god. Beerus would rise into the atmosphere of the planet, beginning to release an amazing power. That's right, the power that Beerus was releasing on this occasion was capable of making the entire Universe 7 shudder.
Is this the pressure Kakarot was facing? But what happened to that Kakarot bug? For a few moments now, his ki had completely disappeared.
The gigantic power of Beerus had been expelled, or rather, the power beyond a god had been released. Beerus, being the most powerful god of all the universes, was the only one to activate the Ultra Instinct of 65% of all its capacity. But the consequences caused were incredible, since it was able to destroy every one of his bones.
Saiyan, I hope you're prepared, since I've never accessed this state with any being that has not been Whis. You're the first one I use it in a real battle.
Goku would put himself on guard, but despite being with his guard up, he wasn't able to make a dodge a powerful blow from Beerus, which sent him flying a few mountains, making him spit out large amounts of blood.
That hit hurt me too much. I can't believe the power that he's able to release. But the weirdest thing, I haven't been able to read his movements.
What's going on? Why don't you attack? Are you afraid? Goku in the same way would expel all the power which he was able to release in that state, with which he would begin to exchange thousands of attacks against the god. But despite granting him a few blows, Beerus was able to grant him in triple with much higher power, which with the passage of battle, one could observe the advantage of Beerus since all the energy system of Goku was torn to pieces. That's right, the energy transport is being very limited due to so much damage by the god. Goku, with his great speed, would take a little distance, with a big gulp of blood was falling to the ground.
Damn it! What is this? His punches are causing me terrible damage. Although I try to predict his movements, I'm not able to achieve it. What changed in him?
While Goku was thinking about his strategy, Beerus, without giving him any chance, would lash out against Goku, starting to massacre him again with his great power. But this time, Goku wasn't able to do absolutely anything. Well. For a few moments I was worried about Mr. Beerus, but I didn't think that I would have to use the power beyond a god. Beerus, while lashing out at Goku, at the moment he would also fall to the ground, because the power beyond a god would begin to take its toll on him.
What the hell? It's only been 10 minutes since I activated the Ultra Instinct. This must not be happening to me.
Mr. Beerus has completely neglected himself, since this time he is receiving attacks in the same way, and they are not light attacks since the power of his enemy is incredible.
Damn, the damage this Saiyan's caused me. It's what makes my power start taking its toll on me so fast. Damn, I'll have to finish this battle in the next 2 minutes.
Beerus would stand up while releasing all the remaining of his power, while Goku would stand up even on this occasion, saw everything blurred.
Damn, the damage I received is of another level, so this is the power of a god of destruction is incomparable.
But in Goku's mind, he was able to observe the entire Saiyan Ra, even the prince of the Saiyans, the mighty Vegeta.
Kakarot, don't give up. Show how a low-class warrior is capable of even surpassing an elite warrior if he tries hard enough.
Goku would release all the power of his body resisted, and at the moment, he would throw a powerful dragon, which Beerus, with great difficulty, was able to dodge.
This battle's mine. You are defeated.
Beerus would immediately throw a powerful attack, which Goku had completely received, while the attack was able to destroy everything in its path. Goku would exclaim,
"This battle ends in a draw, god of destruction, Beerus."
Beerus, without being able to react, from his back, a greenish dragon was able to reach him completely, and instead of exploding, he would release hundreds of rays, which were not able to pass through his entire body, and despite possessing the Ultra Instinct, he wasn't able to do anything. So at the moment, both warriors fell to the ground out of combat. Well, I didn't expect this. A Saiyan, who has not received the training of an angel, was able to defeat the most powerful god of all universes. Whis would pick up both warriors, so he would leave for planet Earth quickly. Mr. Vegeta, apparently you know this Saiyan, so I leave it in your hands. We retire. Whis would retreat to the planet of Lord Beerus, so the moment he arrived, Whis, with the help of his staff, would begin to restore all the energies of Beerus. But even though Whis had restored each of his wounds, he had not awakened. Apparently the damage he's received is incredible, since even with this restored energies, he's not been able to wake up. Returning to planet Earth, Goku had received quickly a seed of recovery, with which he was able to heal each of his wounds and even obtain a powerful Zenkai.
That was amazing! So that's the power of a god, and even I was able to hear that I use the power beyond a god. I have to become much more powerful.
Hey, Bug, how are you able to possess all that great power? But Dimon, why wasn't I able to feel your power? Have you invented a new stealth technique?
Of course not, Vegeta. So I was able to find out the state I was able to access is known as the Super Saiyan God.
Vegeta would be surprised to learn that Goku had been able to take his body to a state beyond the mortal, being able to reach divinity.
Damn it. I'm not gonna stay behind your damn insect power. I'm gonna access the state of a god.
Of course you will, Vegeta, since we have to become very powerful, and for that, we have to be able to overcome each of our limits.
Returning to the planet of Beerus, this one, with a great leap, he was able to wake up being very confused.
Hey, Whis, what happened? How did we get to my planet? Is this a dream?
Of course not, Mr. Beerus. The power of that Saiyan was so great that he caused enough damage to even knock you out.
Are you telling me that I lost?
No, Mr. Beerus, as both were knocked out at the same time, so the duel ended in a draw.
Damn, I can't believe it. I'm the mighty god of destruction. I ended up with a draw with a mere mortal. This I can't believe.
Mr. Beerus, it would be better to return to training, since as I can tell, the Saiyan has started training again.
That's right, Whis. I want to get back to training and push my limits to beat that Saiyan in our next match.
This was how Whis would start training Beerus again. However, the gigantic power of Goku had been able to wake up a powerful legendary warrior who had been asleep since the beginning of time. A powerful warrior had awakened after his great dream because he had felt the essence of one of his greatest rivals. That's right, this guy named Dante, the devourer of multiverses, had awakened after having had a great battle against the god Omnis Ultra Saiyan, which to everyone's surprise was the ancestor of Goku. For that reason, all the hidden power that Goku possessed could be explained.
Apparently, the offspring of the cursed Yamoshi was able to transmit itself, despite having spent millions of years, and they still retain in their being the power of the Omni Ultra Saiyan. I will have to absorb them to return to my most powerful state.
That devourer of multiverses would begin to enter the multiverse of Zeno-sama. of which Daishinkan realized that an extremely gigantic and equally evil power had been able to destroy his angelic barriers as if they were simple sheets of paper.
What the hell was that? The power that is perceived by all the universes is amazing. Even I find it hard to stay on my feet.
That's right, the simple pressure of that warrior was able to end the lives of hundreds of planets due to all this negativity that radiated from his body. So even the gods and angels had too many difficulties to be able to stand up. So each of the angels accompanied by their gods were able to enter multiple dimensions, not to receive that pressure, which was even able to cut their breath. However, among the universes, a single warrior, he was able to stand up without any difficulty. And this mysterious warrior was Son Goku, which the essence of the powerful god Omni Ultra Saiyan slept inside.
I feel slight pressure on my body, but this will help me improve my skills to be much more, and to be able to become much more powerful.
But on the whole planet of Earth was beginning to destroy itself due to the pressure. Vegeta realizing this, and even though he wasn't able to move freely, he would use all his power and even his own body to protect the whole planet of Earth, his family. But Vegeta's power was useless because that negativity was consuming it as if he were a simple insect. Moreover, but before Vegeta was devoured, Goku would disappear before that great essence, because being able to disintegrate it with simple expulsion of his aura.
Damn, I thought that pressure and essence was part of my training, but I could feel like thousands of planets are eradicated by this pressure.
I have finally located you, Cursed. Apparently, all the Saiyan Omni have in their veins to protect all the universes. For that reason, I knew that you would go out to protect these pathetic universes.
Dante, despite being weakened, was able to move at an amazing speed. But if we compare his current speed with that of the past, it's like comparing a turtle and a rabbit. However, for the warriors of those universes, the speed of that warrior was still incomparable. So a powerful warrior had arrived in Universe 7, specifically to planet Earth. So he would begin to descend to the ground and prostrate himself face to face with the warrior who emanated such essence.
I can tell that you are the success of one of my great rivals, and the one only to be able to leave me in this pathetic state. So I need all your power to recover all my energy.
Do you think I'll give it to you so easily? I intend to end you, since you have ended thousands of innocent lives, and that I do not intend to forgive you, miserable.
You are very talkative. Despite not possessing the necessary power to confront me, you have not awakened even 5% of all the Omni-God Saiyan.
I don't know what you mean, but I'm not gonna let you destroy any more planets. And I'm gonna stop you, even if I have to leave my life on the battlefield.
Goku would begin to expel all his power by possessing the key of a god. He was able to access the Super Saiyan Blue. Although he wasn't able to dominate it 100%, his power was much greater. Goku would put himself in a battle pose, and despite being up with his guard, he wasn't able to dodge multiple blows that Dante had given him in thousandths of a second.
This is amazing. I wasn't able to see anything. The power of that guy is incomparable.
Vegeta would say this to himself while Goku had been sending to fly hundreds of meters, but he hadn't been able to see anything since Goku vomited huge amounts of blood, while all his organs seemed to explode.
How is it possible that he attacked me with all that speed? I wasn't able to see anything.
As far as I can tell, you possess an incredible resistance, since those blows were capable of ending the life of even a god of destruction of supreme level.
That won't be enough for you to beat me. This time I'll turn to my attack, so I hope you're ready. I'm gonna finish you!
Goku had thrown himself against that warrior. However, each of his blows were neutralized with incredible ease. So much so that he saw Goku as if he were a simple child compared to all his power. Goku, realizing that he was wearing out his energy, would retreat a few meters.
What the hell? Who is this bastard supposed to be? From what I'd understood, the god is the maximum and most powerful authority in the universe. But this guy surpasses the power of Beerus by 10 times.
Maybe you're tired of making a fool of yourself already. But for your bad luck, I want to have fun with you before I eat all your power and essence.
Dante would begin to move at an amazing speed, by which he would instantly connect multiple blows, which Goku likewise wasn't able to see anything, because being sent to the ground, creating a huge explosion by the impact.
Get this, you infernal ball of destruction!
A big attack was heading towards Goku and all the other warriors. However, Goku, when trying to stop it, even his body was affected and wrapped in that big sphere, which seemed that end of Goku had come. Vegeta, despite being with multiple wounds, would stand in front of the whole planet Earth.
I don't care if I die. I'm not gonna go to the other world without a fight. I'm not gonna let you end my family's life.
You are a simple trash beside me. You will not be able to do anything against me. So, for your bad luck, I will finish you with one blow. Vegeta would put himself in a battle pose, however he wasn't able to see anything, and the hand a few centimeters from hitting his heart had been stopped by Goku's palm, which with a supernatural force was able to make him fall to the ground. Superficially it seemed to have been a great attack, but for Dante's resistance it had been nothing.
So this is the power of an Omni-Saiyan God, but apparently I'm not able to control it. But I have the time to finish this dam.
Flashback. The great attack had been about to take the life of Son Goku. He was able to release all his hidden power, even accessing his greenish hair transformation. But inside, a new energy path had been unlocked, observing a being identical to him, so Goku would put himself in a battle pose.
Where am I? Who are you?
The subject would start to get closer, but the closer he got, the pressure increased in a big way.
Apparently, you've been able to awaken the power of the Omni-Saiyan. You being the last descendant of the powerful Yamoshi. The power runs with more intensity inside you, Kakarot.
What? I don't understand anything. Who are you? And how do you know my Saiyan name?
These are easy questions to answer. I'm Bardock, your father. And like you, I possess the power of the Super Omni-Saiyan God. But not with the same intensity as you. But I could teach you to access a small part of that power.
Damn, I've finally been able to meet my father. We find ourselves in this pathetic situation. I can't let my loved ones die.
I know, my son. All our ancestors share the same likeness. We are protectors, so I will give you a little of all the power that belongs to you. But you must train, since you are the key piece in the final battle.
Bardock was able to grant him the required knowledge so that Goku is able to access that state. And flashback. Dante had recovered from that pressure, but he was surprised to realize how Goku's body continued to release an amazing power. While everything began to shake, even hundreds of planets were destroyed by such power.
Whose is all this power? I can't believe it. That energy warrior is located near that warrior.
Daishinka would quickly communicate with all the gods so that they would quickly provide support to that warrior.
Gods and angels, I want you to quickly head to the planet Earth of Universe 7. We will already go in 5 minutes, because the King of All is ascending his combat form.
However, all the gods, including the angels, when they left that dimension, their bodies were pulled to the ground as if they were simple ants.
Daishinka-sama, we're not able to withstand all this pressure, as he's even able to completely neutralize us. We're sorry.
All the gods, together with their angels, would return to the dimension, but Daishinkan would be amazed because the warriors of planet Earth would move without difficulty.
This is very strange. I'm sure that this warrior's responsible for all this. And in the same way, I'm 90% that the entity was looking for this warrior.
Goku, as he continued to increase his power, several marks were drawn all over his body, which left Dante surprised because those marks represented all the power of the Omni-God Saiyan. But when Goku created a big explosion, he could observe with his silver hair and several marks that covered his body and face. You are still incomplete. The true God Omni was able to turn his hair as a green color, implying his infinite power. You are nothing. Goku, without saying a single word, would throw himself against him, being able to grant him the first effective blow. However, Goku had also received a powerful kick, being sent flying, while his enemy had only retreated a few meters.
I don't like this.
Even if Kakarot's power has been increased in that incredible way, you won't be able to defeat him. But he is our last salvation. Vegeta would try to communicate with Goku, but it was impossible for him, since the difference of his powers was incredible. Damn, I have to look for the perfect opportunity since Kakarot will be commissioned to annihilate this guy. The battle of both warriors looked very equal. That's right, Goku had been able to access his level increase millions of times more, but this was also unfavorable since each of his bones as well as his organs were being destroyed to his body, not being able to withstand all that increase in power. By the same circumstance, Goku was beginning to lose the advantage, being the one who received more and more blows. Atomizing blows. Dante's blows were boosting with lightning, so despite charging more energy, they were also much faster, so the blows that Goku received caused him tremendous damage, falling to the ground almost losing consciousness. Damn, I don't think it'll end well this way. I'll grant you a hit with all my power. Dante, when approaching from the front, he did not have any guards, so Goku collected all the remaining power, throwing his most powerful blow at him, creating a powerful dragon which would wipe out everything in its path. Dante would try to stop him, but it was very quickly difficult for him. Goku would fall to the ground out of combat, so Vegeta would quickly approach Goku. Kakarot, you are and will be our salvation. I'll send you to another dimension. We'll trust you. Vegeta, with his maximum speed, would enter Goku into the Room of Time, granting him a little of his energy. And at the moment of closing the door, he would destroy the entire door.
I know you'll fight a way out, Kakarot. You're the best warrior I've ever met. I trust you, insect.
Vegeta would return to the battlefield, realizing that Dante was with multiple wounds all over his body, but he still had great power to stay on the battlefield.
Damn worm. Now I'm going to finish you. That attack has caused me great damage, so I'll leech you right this instant.
Dante, no matter how much he was looking for Goku, he wasn't able to locate him, so he had headed towards Vegeta quickly, holding him by the neck.
Where did that bastard go? Ha 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 ha! You can end me in this whole universe, but Kakarot's insect will end you. You need power to face the most powerful Saiyan.
Furious, Dante would pulverize Vegeta, just as he had exploded the entire planet Earth into 1,000 pieces. Meanwhile, in the Room of Time, being a very different dimension, Goku was safe and sound, but his whole body was in pieces due to the excess energy of the Super Saiyan God Omni. Goku's entire body was completely shattered as he had pushed his body to the limit, so he would start meditating to be able to heal most of his wounds, but despite his meditation, his internal energy would still be out of control. I have to get the control of all my power, because otherwise I'll explode, and I won't let him get away with it. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of All, Daishinka was very nervous as well as he was too surprised to realize how a warrior from Universe 7 had been able to give battle to that gigantic power.
This is bad. The power of that warrior is unmatched, and we'll not be able to do anything against him. But we have to communicate with such a warrior.
Daishinka would try to establish a connection with Son Goku, but it was impossible for him because he was in another dimension. Although this should not be a problem for the High Priest, the main problem was Goku's power, which was at deplorable levels.
In that case, I'll have to communicate with the god Beerus of the universe. He must have knowledge of a warrior of such power since he will be our. Daishinka would begin to quickly move towards the dimension where all the gods were, but as he was about to arrive, he'd be hit by some extremely powerful blows by Dante the Multiverse Devourer, who was able to feel the essence of a priest. You good-for-nothing worm. I wanted you to give me information about the ultimate Omega Saiyan god. After all our battle, he completely disappeared.
Daishinka, without being able to breathe in the same way, was surprised, but with a big blow, he was able to move away a little.
I can't believe that what this warrior said. It was said that the power of the Ultra Omega Saiyan God was impossible for any Saiyan. In fact, it was even said that it was simple fairy tales. So for that reason, that Saiyan was able to face him.
Dante would begin to approach Daishinka, which, with each of his footsteps, planets of the 12 universes were destroyed by such an increase in power so that after a few moments, both warriors were face to face. Daishinka in the same way would expel all his power. The power of the great priest would be felt by each of his children who, when using their staves, were surprised because their father, for the first time, resorted to using 100% of all his abominable power. This is amazing! Who is that warrior that even forces our father to use all his power?
Hey, Whis, we don't have to help the High Priest because even though he possesses all that amazing power, I don't think he'll be able to beat that warrior.
Are you implying that our father's weak?
Watch your words, God. Don't care that Whis is the most powerful angel. I'll defend my father's pride.
But everyone was amazed when they realized how Daishinkan had been sent to a planet which would explode with simple contact, while his opponent laughed like a maniac.
What happened? I thought the priest of this multiverse would have much more power, since you are the last priest of the 4 multiverse.
Daishinkan would have tried to recover from that powerful blow, however, he had received incredible damage with just one of the blows of that monster.
How is it possible that this is happening? And most of all, I can't believe that you were able to end the lives of the remaining 3 priests. Didn't your father tell you about me? I introduced myself. My name's Dante, and I'm known as the Multiverse Eater.
Daishinkan would panic as he remembered his father's words.
My son, in all this multiverse there is one warrior whom we should not face, and his name is Dante, the devourer of multiverses, since there's no warrior who's been able to defeat him. No, this is a nightmare. You must not be Dante, since there was no information that you're still alive. You're lying!
I care very little if you believe me or not. The only thing I inform you is that I plan to end this whole multiverse. They don't bring me the Omega Ultra Saiyan.
But at the moment, an angel very powerful would stand by Daishinkan. That's right, it was Whis who had absorbed the power of all his other brothers, as well as the power of each of the gods of the 12 universes. Don't worry, father. Between the 2 of us, we'll be able to do something against this wretch. We won't let him wipe out everything existing.
One more piece of garbage. That won't do any good, since I, compared to you, am a lion while you are simple ants.
FYI, if we unite our powers, we'll be able to beat you, miserable.
No, Whis. Run away from here. It's impossible to face this warrior. The only warrior to be able to defeat him is the Saiyan of Universe 7.
Are you referring to Son Goku? I always knew that he hides great power, but still not able to decipher because he possesses all that power.
Do you even know him, Whis?
That's right, father. That warrior faced Lord Beerus in a friendly battle, which both were equal, but the power that was recently felt has something familiar with that Saiyan.
Whis, it doesn't matter that we fall on the battlefield, but I want you to communicate with that warrior and give him the knowledge required to increase his power.
As you wish, father.
Give me 1 minute, please.
My life is not interested, Whis. I want you to grant him all the knowledge, since he will be the salvation of everything existing.
Daishinkan would begin to exchange millions of blows against Dante, but the difference in powers was incomparable, since the blows that Daishinkan was able to grant him did not cause any great damage, only a few scratches, unlike the blows that Dante granted, destroying every bone and vein of energy, while after a few moments, Whis was able to communicate with Goku. Mr. Goku, I'm the Angel Whis, the Master of the God Destroyer of Universe 7. I inform you that the planet Earth will be destroyed by Dante. My father have informed me that you are the hope of the 12 universes, so I'll grant you with the required knowledge. Whis, despite being in another dimension, was able to grant him the required knowledge, and he was able to do it, because on this occasion, Goku's power was no longer so weakened. So at the moment, all the knowledge of an angel, including the knowledge of the Great Priest, would be transferred to Goku, which, due to the excess of information, would become unconscious. It's done, father. I know we won't be able to face this monster, but we won't die without a fight. Both angels began to fight against Dante, but despite being at a disadvantage, they were not able to defeat him. The warrior, who was able to destroy 3 other multiverses, however, in the Kingdom of the Whole, Zeno-sama would notice strong exhortations of energy, so he would head towards where these disasters were perceived, accompanied by both guardians, but at the moment of arriving, what happened with everyone happened with Zeno-sama, because at the moment of observing him, he would go into absolute panic, stopping the battle. Mighty Dante, I know that we're no match for you, but please spare our lives. We promise to serve you.
Well, it's the little king of the whole of this multiverse. That's a surprise.
Zeno-sama would remember in the same way as Dante was able to easily end the life of the all-powerful king, and Zeno-sama, who was considered the all-weaker king, would not have a chance.
Okay, I spare your lives as long as you bring me, the warrior who possesses the power of the Ultra Omega Saiyan.
But Lord, that's impossible, since that power is only a legend.
You're wrong, Zeno, because the power of that warrior really exists. So I want you to look for him, because his predecessor left me wounds, which to this day I'm not able to heal, and I need the power of him.
I understand. We'll do our best. Daishaken and Whis, come with me.
The trio of warriors would quickly leave.
My lord, it's better to die on the battlefield than to be under the orders of that miserable.
I think the same as my father. We have to be able to get in touch with Mr. Goku.
Who's Goku? And no, we'll not fight because Dante will not end our lives. Dante stays with all our divine root, so we will live inside a fate worse than death.
I understand on that occasion. We just have to make time, and Mr. Goku is the warrior who possesses the power of the Ultra Omega Saiyan. Zeno-sama would be surprised because even for him it was something surprising, since only legends of that overwhelming power were heard. Returned to the room of time, Goku was able to wake up, but with a strong headache, and at the moment his gaze would change to a much more serious look.
The deities of this universe were never evil. They just wanted to become much more powerful like me. But I will not forgive that guy who finished with my planet and my friends.
Goku would begin to meditate, and with the knowledge of his father, the angels had granted him, he was able to access the Ultra Instinct. In a matter of months, something that was extremely impossible since he was a mere mortal, but the power that he gave off in the Ultra Instinct was a power that very hardly any god or angel could face.
The power I'm getting is amazing, but I have to be able to access the Ultra Omega God Saiyan. I have to end that miserable one once and for all.
Goku would continue his arduous training. Meanwhile, in the 12 universes, they had plunged into extreme slavery, even the gods and angels.
I don't know where you are, but I'm in the 12 universes looking for something like you worm. So you better be prepared. He can't stand that this wretch treats us like his slaves and annihilates every being who's not willing to follow his orders.
Thus, 18 months had already passed in which Son Goku did not show signs of life, which was the beginning of Brother Dante, because he wanted to recover 100% of all his power. However, in all these months, Goku had been able to master his power completely. Moreover, he had even chosen to remain in his most primitive state, which was capable of even ending the life of a priest with a single blow, since even his tail gave him much more Saiyan power.
It's time, I'm ready. And I think even the Supreme who did me the favor of releasing all my power and the knowledge that I've obtained has helped me to obtain all this power. So it's time to get out of this place, put an end to that miserable.
Goku would begin to expel an amazing power, so much that the same dimension would begin to collapse, and even previously that this was impossible for him, since the very essence of Bardock used the last of his essence, so that he wouldn't be able to leave said dimension. If he was not able to overcome his power, Goku was able to make the dimension 1,000 pieces. So the instant to enter through the portal that had been created would appear directly in space, which would make him fill with an uncontrollable rage. Meanwhile, Dante, in an outburst of anger, would hold Beerus tightly.
You know that Saiyan's from your universe, so you better tell me where he is, or I'll end your pathetic life.
Furious, Daishaken wouldn't stand it anymore, so at a great speed give him a powerful blow, which he was able to make him retreat, granting several blows to both warriors.
On this occasion, I'll finish with you good for nothing.
Dante would start to create a giant sphere of energy, so he would throw it against everyone present.
I hope that this warrior is able to put an end to the evil of this guy.
But when everyone had accepted the inevitable end, Goku would appear in front of everyone, pulverizing Dante's attack, and with a very serious look would observe him.
I'm not gonna let you breathe one more day, because this very time, I'm gonna end your life completely.
Goku expelled a little more of his incredible power, which on this occasion left Dante very surprised since his power had risen in an unreal way. Goku would begin to walk towards where Dante was, while his power began to grow to incredible levels. Dante, a little annoyed, would also begin to rise his power, with which, on this occasion, he was able to cause the destruction of 12 universes, because his power was gigantic, but Goku was not the least bit.
I plan to use all my power against you. I remember what you told me about the Ultra Omega Saiyan, so on this occasion, I'll use the power beyond an Omega Saiyan.
Goku would expel all his power, but his appearance would not change in the slightest. However, the pressure that emanated from his entire body was incredible, so much so that on this occasion all the pressure that was released was capable of even dimensional cracks forming throughout the multiverse, which had only been caused by two warriors, Yamoshi, the first Ultra Omega Saiyan, and Dante in his best state. But currently it was impossible for him to.
Damn worm. I don't know what kind of trick you're using, but it's impossible for you to be able to cause all these catastrophes. So, I'll annihilate you in one fell swoop, and I'll keep your power.
Dante rushed against Goku, but the battle had taken an incredible turn, because on this occasion Goku was able to stop his blow with only one of his hands. Even everyone present was surprised.
The power that the Saiyan has is incredible, but I don't remember that they reached this limit. In fact, it makes that guy look like he is weak.
That's right. But if we leave the energy field that he has created for us, his pressure alone will be capable of destroying every one of our bones.
So I finally have the fortune to meet Son Goku. This is amazing. I never thought that the power of that Saiyan would go so far.
Both warriors continued to exchange thousands of blows all over the place, but both were very evenly matched, which infuriates Dante since this guy's been training for no more than 100 years. Unlike Dante himself, who had led a life full of training to be able to become the most powerful warrior.
I'm not gonna let you make fun of me. I'm gonna end you right now.
Dante would expel much more power than his body itself was able to withstand. So at that moment of a big explosion, Dante's attacked Goku. But this time Goku was able to dodge each one of his blows. That's right, although Dante's power has grown enormously, his speed had been affected. So Goku would take that advantage, being able to connect a powerful blow, making him fall to the ground, causing a big explosion all over the place.
What's going on? Is that all the power of the so-called Multiverse Eater?
Dante would try to stand up, but it was impossible for him, since his whole body was in pieces. That's right, Goku in each blow that he connected successfully injected the energy of the Ultra Omega God. So Dante in each course of the battle was only becoming a time bomb, until Goku decides when to explode it.
Ugh, I can't believe it. Why, a legendary warrior be defeated again by a Saiyan, and the most fruitful, a Saiyan who hasn't spent his whole life training.
Goku was starting to get closer to Dante, so Dante would throw thousands of energy attacks, which were all directed towards Goku. They seemed to be thousands, but Goku, just by expelling his aura a little, was able to disintegrate each of his attacks.
This is incredible. This is completely humiliating Dante, the warrior who is said to know no rival at this time.
Apparently he has been saved by all the knowledge that we have granted him, Father.
I don't think so, Whis. Since the power he's using, I don't know. So that means that the Saiyan had been able to get that power on his own.
That's impossible, since to get all that in such a short period of time. But I'm glad I'm still able to put an end to the reign of that miserable. Dante, as if he were a mere mortal, he was receiving a beating from Goku, who, in each exchange of blows, was able to take away his divinity. That's right, for that reason, Dante's power began to decrease in an incredible way. But at the moment that Dante would fall to the ground again, blood spread from all over his body.
My blood. This can't be. How many millions had to elapse for a subject to be able to harm me like this?
Dante would enter a state of shock, so his power, as if it were magic, would begin to increase again. But something strange was happening, since the negative power of the 12 universes and even the 4 multiverses was entering Dante's body. So the level he was reaching was an incredible power, which on this occasion even made Goku nervous. So instantly he tried to explode it, but to his surprise, absolutely nothing would happen.
Damn it! With the power he's getting, my energy hasn't been enough. So that's the real power of Dante, the devourer of multiverses.
Dante would continue with his increase in power. That's right, the power that was perceived all over the place seemed to have no limit. However, Goku was a little confident.
If only by pushing her body to the limit her speed was comprised in that way. With this power, she won't be able to move.
Dante, of a great explosion, was able to expel all his power, but to everyone's surprise, his appearance had completely changed. That's right, and the same negative energy had given him a body much more resistant and to maintain an incredible speed, since his new appearance was much thinner while wearing an absolutely black suit.
I don't know what the hell happened to me, but with this power, I have planned to finish you, dare mortal.
Dante, at the moment, from one of his hands was able to create an incredible vacuum all over the place, which even looked like a black hole. But Goku would activate his pressure so that the gravity wouldn't be able to absorb them. But all over the place, a maniacal laughter could be heard.
I don't know what the hell happened, but this power is amazing.
Dante, like a flash, was able to heal a tremendous blow to Goku, which on this occasion had caused him incredible damage. So much so that even his sea of energy had stopped for a few thousandths of a second, which was impressive.
Ah, and it hurt me too much. What happened to it?
But without Goku being able to recover completely, he would begin to receive a shower of blows. On the part of Dante, the battle had completely turned around, since Dante, being about to die, was able to release a much greater power. So at the moment, Goku would be thrown to a planet, completely destroying. Goku would try to recover in one of the debris of the planet, but Dante would not grant him the necessary time, since Goku was involved in a shower of blows again.
Multiverse, destroying fists.
Dante's fists were strengthened much more, with which, on this occasion, even his internal energy was being affected.
Apparently not even the power of the Ultra Omega Saiyan was able to protect us this time.
No, Father, there was something strange, because if you look closely in every exchange of blows, Mr. Goku can be observed as he smiles.
Whis, don't say stupid things. Goku is getting beat up. We better come up with a plan to finish that fucker before he's tired.
But at that moment, as if he were a miracle, Dante would come out again against the ground with millions of wounds all over his body, while in the sky a negative aura was formed.
Did you think that you were the only one to master negative energy? And I'm amazed by the power I possess now, so you better say goodbye to this world.
No, I can't lose, much less with all this power, so I'll annihilate you.
Dante and Goku began to exchange millions of blows, but Goku, without trusting himself and taking the battle much more seriously, he would begin to finish with each of Dante's bones. He even on this occasion did not damage his energy veins. On the contrary, he destroyed them with every blow he gave him, which would cause too much blood to flow all over the place.
I really am not able to assimilate the power that warrior possesses, because despite receiving those blows, he has not been bent. I can't believe it.
Goku would start walking towards Dante, which on this occasion his temperament had changed drastically, since his whole being asked him to flee the place, so Dante would kneel, beg, so that Goku would be able to forgive his life. But the instant that Dante raised his gaze, he could only observe the silhouette of the same death.
I can't forgive your life, since you ended up with innocent people and that has no forgiveness. So die.
Goku with a simple attack was able to destroy Dante completely, so at the moment he would approach all the gods.
It's finally over, but I want to keep getting much more powerful.
Mr. Goku, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you, but would you like to train for one of the most powerful warriors of the 12 universes?
And what do I have to do? Will I have to fight with powerful warriors?
That's right. You'll even fight with warriors from different timelines, so we want a powerful warrior to represent us.
In that case, of course I accept. But I would like to revive all my family and loved ones who were annihilated by Dante's dam.
Well, there's no problem, because thanks to Zeno-sama, we've gathered the Super Dragon Balls, with which we can make everything go back to normal.
Daishoken would invoke the powerful god Zama, with which they were able to restore everything caused by Dante. Each planet of the 12 universes had returned to normal, so Goku would return to planet Earth.
After all, you're right, Kakarot. We're always having to keep training in case a warrior as powerful as that damn one shows up again.
Of course, Vegeta, but would you like to participate in a tournament with more powerful beings of the different timelines?
I didn't understand anything you told me. What do you mean by that?
Goku would explain everything to him, so the warriors went to the time room, so that Vegeta would also be able to awaken the power of Saiyan God. Goku would start training Vegeta, in which Goku's power would not increase in the slightest, since he was focused on teaching everything to the Prince of the Saiyans. Meanwhile, on the planet of the god Beerus, both deities were talking about everything that happened.
Whis, what do you think will happen from now on, since even Goku's much more powerful than the king of all Zeno-sama?
I have no idea, Mr. Beerus, but by our fortune, Mr. Goku's heart does not possess absolute evil, so we can rest easy. But for all the 12 universes, 2 gigantic powers would be present. That's right, Goku was even able to transmit a little of his power to the Prince of the Saiyans, with which it was enough for him to awaken all his power completely. He reached a very different state from Goku, but several Omni marks would be present all over his body.
Appreciate it, Kakarot. Now I'll be able to protect my family from any threat.
And I took care of protecting all the 12 universes, and we're prepared for those warriors from the other timelines. Hehehe. Now, how interesting.
Daishoken would appear in front of both Saiyans, being surprised.
Daishoken, we both will be the warriors that'll represent this multiverse, and we'll have new adventures.
And that's how Goku and Vegeta got together and put on high the multiverse of the great Zeno-sama. Gogeta floated in the sky, surrounded by the imposing energy of his new form. The stars seemed to pale before the intensity of his blue radiance, as Takagami recovered from the initial impact and adopted a defensive posture.
What kind of transformation is this? This is the power of those who fight for something greater than themselves.
With a flash, Gogeta disappeared, appearing in front of Takagami in the blink of an eye. The clash of their fists created shockwaves that shook the battlefield. Gogeta's speed and strength were unmatched, surpassing even Takagami's ability to anticipate his blows. Gogeta and Takagami exchanged blows and energy blasts at breakneck speed. Each impact resounded like cosmic thunder, creating an epic symphony on planet Earth.
Your attempt to revive your so-called gods ends here, Takagami. But you're a bug in the face of the greatness of my power.
In an instant, Gogeta unleashed a burst of concentrated energy, enveloping Takagami in a whirlwind of light and force. When the light dissipated, Takagami emerged unharmed, but with a more serious expression.
Interesting, but not enough.
The battle was reaching cosmic levels, with ripples of energy spreading across the far reaches of the universe. Meanwhile, the other Z warriors watched the sky, appreciating Gogeta's great power of display and Takagami's resilience and viciousness. The roar of battle echoed in every corner of the universe. Gogeta and Takagami, wrapped in an endless dance of energy, continued their titanic confrontation. Space twisted and trembled under the influence of their powers, creating distortions itself. Bursts of energy expanded like lightning, illuminating the darkness of the night sky with dazzling flashes. Each blow between the two contenders seemed to release an explosion of energy that spread in concentric waves, setting the frantic pace of the cosmic battle. Away from the battlefield, the others watched in anguish and admiration. Bulma, with a mixture of fear and hope in her eyes, clung to the hope that Gogeta would prevail.
Come on, Gogeta, you must win! For all of us!
Meanwhile, on the battlefield, Gogeta and Takagami continued their fierce exchange. Determination burned in Gogeta's eyes, while Takagami maintained a defiant smile, though his expression hid a growing unease.
This is for the price you pay for defying the peace of the universe.
With a swift movement, Gogeta vanished and reappeared behind Takagami, launching an energy-charged punch straight at his back. But Takagami, anticipating, quickly spun around and blocked the attack with a dark energy shield.
Haha, is that all you got?
In response, Gogeta intensified his assault, unleashing a continuous flurry of punches and kicks. Each impact resounded like thunder. But Takagami, though outmatched in speed, resisted with his dark power, countering the attacks with deft movements. During the scuttle, Takagami took advantage of the prevalent moment of openness and opened up a launched energy bolt straight for Gogeta's chest. The resulting explosion shook the universe and Gogeta was thrown backwards, leaving a trail of blue energy.
Is that all hope can do?
Gogeta recovered quickly, stood up with determination. The glow of his transformation increased even more.
This is far from over.
The battle continued, leading them again to display an ever-increasing amount of power. In this fury, Gogeta unleashed power that defied the laws of the universe, and Takagami, despite his arrogance, began to show signs of concern. The tension was palpable. The Z warriors felt the intensity of the confrontation, even when they were a long distance away from where the battle for the future of the planet was taking place. Piccolo was seriously watching, calculating every move and thinking at some point this battle, which was far from over, would be a favorable outcome. Piccolo, in his thoughts,
Goku, Vegeta, We trust you. You must win this battle.
The battle reached a new climax when Gogeta and Takagami met at an eminent point in the battle. The energy emanated from them, illuminating the vastness of the dark sky, creating a dazzling spectacle of colors and flashes.
You cannot escape darkness. Darkness will never prevail over light. You're a fool if you think your light can eclipse my power.
Suddenly, a voice echoed in Gogeta's mind, a familiar but distant voice.
Gogeta, do not underestimate your enemy. Truth lies within strength.
The transmission abruptly cut off, leaving Gogeta bewildered. Before he could reflect on it, however, Takagami lunged towards him with surprising speed, unleashing a series of punches and kicks that left Gogeta struggling to keep up. At that moment, a fleeting image flashed through Gogeta's mind, a vision of his loved ones, of his purpose, and the responsibility he carried on his shoulders. The energy of the transformation fanned, and Gogeta, with newfound determination, struck back with renewed ferocity.
This is the limit of your tyranny, Takagami. The limit's up to you, Gogeta, and your limit is my power.
Suddenly, the sky around him fragmented, and multiple distorted versions of Takagami emerged from the dimensional rifts, each with a malevolent grin.
You cannot defeat me, Gogeta. I am eternal. I'm a god. You may be powerful, but I'm not alone in this.
The battle reached a new intensity as multiple distorted incarnations of Takagami surrounded Gogeta. Each emanated a dark energy that defied the laws of the universe. The air itself seemed to vibrate with the pressure of their combined presences. At that precise moment, Goku and Vegeta's fusion had come to an end due to the amount of power they had used in order to stand up to Takagami. Goku and Vegeta, although they had returned to their individual forms after the fusion, knew that the key by defeating Takagami lay in perfect unity and coordination.
Vegeta, we're in this together. Let's give all our power to be able to confront him so we can free Yamcha from this so-called god.
Yes, Kakarot, this insect will not defeat us.
The Z Warriors watched in amazement, aware that the fate of the universe hung in the balance. Piccolo analyzed this situation, looking for any weaknesses that could be exploited. The others prepared to act if the opportunity presented itself. Goku and Vegeta, now separated, their fusion as Gogeta, faced Takagami with determination in their eyes. The dark presence of the supposed god loomed over them, but the Saiyans were determined to free Yamcha and put an end to the threat he posed.
Vegeta, we need to coordinate our attacks. We've always been stronger when we fight together.
For once, I agree with you, Kakarot. This insect will pay for what he did.
The two Saiyans lunged towards Takagami, attacking with a combination of punches and ki blasts. Takagami, though powerful, was momentarily overwhelmed by the timing of the two warriors. However, his sinister laugh echoed across the battlefield.
Your union will change nothing. My power is unlimited.
Goku and Vegeta exchanged glances, realizing that the situation was more serious than they had imagined. Takagami unleashed a wave of dark energy that sent them flying, but they quickly recovered, ready to continue the fight. The Z Warriors watched with concern. Gohan, though a bit intimidated by Takagami's power, maintained his unwavering determination. Piccolo, with his keen intelligence, pointed out a possible weakness.
It seems his power is linked to some source. We must find a way to break that connection.
Goten and Trunks, who had arrived along with Gohan, eager to join the battle, looked at their parents with concern. However, Piccolo stopped them.
Guys, we need a plan before we launch into battle. Your strength will be crucial at the right time.
While the Z Warriors thought of a plan, Goku and Vegeta continued their fierce assault against Takagami. Every time it seemed they were about to defeat him, his power increased and the evil emanating from him intensified.
Ha 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 ha! Your resistance is useless. My power thrives on despair and suffering.
Then we must find a way to change that. Vegeta, we need to attack together, but with a strategy.
You're finally thinking clearly, Kakarot. Let's do it!
The two Saiyans, coordinating their movements, executed a series of synchronized attacks. Although Takagami was defending himself skillfully, he began to show signs of discomfort. The connection between his power and the external source seemed to be faltering. At that instant, Piccolo noticed the opportunity.
Now is the time. Gohan, wait for the opening we'll give you so you can attack. Goten, Trunks, follow me on my signal.
Gohan nodded, conveying a look of confidence to his friends. Goten and Trunks prepared to act on Piccolo's directions. Everyone, let's send our energies to Goku and Vegeta. We must strengthen their connection and weaken Takagami's source of power. The Z Warriors gathered their energies and, with a coordinated effort, sent a stream of ki skyward. Goku and Vegeta, sensing the surge of power, seized the opportunity.
They're doing it! Come on, Vegeta!
The connection between Goku, Vegeta, and the Z Warriors created a unique synergy. Energy flowed through them, strengthening their resolve and weakening Takagami's external source of power.
This can't be happening!
The darkness surrounding Takagami began to dissipate, due to the large amount of energy they were receiving from their friends. Piccolo, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, observing the battle, noticed the opportunity to intervene.
Now, guys, let's go!
Goten and Trunks took flight into the sky where Goku and Vegeta were, joining the fight against Takagami. With the energy of the Z Warriors strengthening the connection between Goku and Vegeta, the real battle was about to begin. The fusion of powers of the Saiyans between father and son created an explosion of energy that enveloped Takagami. The fight intensified, but now, with hope and determination as their allies, Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks were ready to face the Dark God and free the universe from his evil domain. The burst of energy that enveloped Takagami reverberated throughout the universe. The fusion of the powers of Goku, Vegeta, and his sons created a symphony of forces, illuminating the sky with a brilliant radiance that defied the darkness Takagami had tried to impose. Takagami, enveloped in the luminescence of the combined energy, struggled to maintain his composure. The connection between his power and the source of his power, Yamcha, was weakening with every second, and his sinister laugh began to turn into growls of frustration.
We're making progress, Vegeta!
Yes, but let's not let our guard down. It's not over.
As the Saiyans continued their coordinated offensive, Goten and Trunks and their Super Saiyan forms joined the battle. The pressure on Takagami intensified, as he now faced not only the two adult Saiyans, but also that of his sons. The coordination between them was impressive, and every move was backed by the combined strength of the Z Warriors.
Dad! Vegeta! We're here to help! Let's show this guy that the Saiyan family is unstoppable!
The trio of Saiyans, with their different levels of expertise and abilities, formed a united front against Takagami. The battle was getting more and more intense, with bursts of energy and flurries of attacks lighting up space like a celestial spectacle. Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, and the others channeled their energies to strengthen the connection between the Saiyans and, at the same time, searched for weaknesses in Takagami's defense.
We must keep the pressure on and look for any opportunity to unbalance Takagami.
Dad! Vegeta! Goten! Trunks! We all trust you! Let's defeat this enemy together!
In space, the synergy between the Saiyans reached its peak. Goku and Vegeta, with the energy of their sons and the Z Warriors, fused their attacks in an amazing display of power. Takagami, despite his resistance, began to give ground.
This is not possible! I'm a god! I cannot be defeated!
The connection between his power and the external source was on the verge of collapse. The Saiyans, sensing Takagami's weakness, redoubled their efforts. Goten, Trunks, guided by Piccolo's strategy, attacked from unexpected angles, while Goku and Vegeta continued their frontal assault. Piccolo noticed a key opportunity.
Now, Gohan, it's your time!
Gohan, in his final form ready to take advantage of the opportunity, concentrated his energy and launched himself into the confrontation. With surprising speed, he joined the fight alongside Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks.
Let's finish this, Dad!
The symphony of energy between the Z Warriors and the Saiyans reached its climax. Takagami, beset on all sides, struggled to stand, and the skies erupted in an explosion of light and darkness as the heroes joined forces to confront the Dark God. The battle reached its climax, and every move decided the fate of the universe. The Z Warriors from Earth watched with eagerness and hope, knowing that victory was within reach, but also aware that the final fight was yet to come. With the Saiyans and the Z Warriors facing Takagami in a cosmic confrontation. However, amidst the chaos of battle, a small distraction allowed Takagami to strike back with furiosity. Goten and Trunks, focused on following Piccolo's strategy, attacked from different angles. However, in a moment of minimal distraction, Takagami seized the opportunity and launched a surprise counterattack. With quick and precise movements, the Dark God managed to evade Goten and Trunks' attacks, countering them with punches and energy blasts.
Ha ha ha! Your efforts are useless, children! I'm the all-consuming darkness!
Goten and Trunks, though agile and powerful, found themselves in a precarious situation. Takagami, with his speed and cunning, left the young Saiyans struggling to keep up.
We have to protect them!
Takagami's concentration of power is increasing. We need to regroup and find a strategy to counter his moves.
Meanwhile, in the sky, Goten and Trunks, despite the setbacks, continued to fight bravely. They tried to coordinate their attacks, but Takagami's speed and cunning proved to be a formidable challenge.
Trunks, we have to stay focused!
I know, but this guy's stronger than I imagined! In an unexpected twist, Takagami launched a blast of dark energy that hit Goten and Trunks, leaving them badly injured. Both Saiyans fell backwards with obvious signs of exhaustion and pain.
Goten! Trunks!
This damned Dark God!
The adult Saiyans intensified their assault, determined to avenge their momentary fall of their sons. Takagami, however, taking advantage of the confusion and despair that gripped the Z warriors, rejoiced in his newly strengthened power.
This is how the heroes of the universe give up. They may fight, but in the end, darkness will always prevail.
The result was becoming even more tense. The Z warriors, though determined, were facing the reality that their fight was far from over. Goten and Trunks, wounded but not defeated, were struggling to recover and rejoin the battle.
We need a new approach. Takagami's strength increases with each passing moment.
We'll protect Goten and Trunks. We'll not let the darkness prevail.
The battle, now more critical than ever, was plunging into a desperate confrontation where the survival of the universe hung in the balance. Gohan, observing the critical situation of his brother Goten and Trunks, could not contain the fury that burned within him. A flash of anger crossed his eyes, and his energy rose to levels that would leave even the most experienced Saiyans dumbfounded. He lunged towards Takagami with shocking speed, ignoring any concern for his own safety.
With this price, you'll pay for hurting my family!
His speed and furiosity impressed everyone on the battlefield. Every blow he delivered carried with it a pent-up rage of a protective brother. Takagami, though initially surprised, adapted to the intensity of Gohan's attacks.
Do you think your anger can stop me?
I'm going to protect my family and the entire universe from your darkness!
The battle between Gohan and Takagami unleashed an energy storm in space. Goku and Vegeta watched in awe and fear as the conflict reached levels that defied comprehension. Despite their determination, they realized they were facing a power beyond anything they had faced before.
This kid, his power is amazing!
We can't let Gohan fight alone. We must support him.
As Gohan continued his relentless assault, Takagami showed a significant improvement in his defensive ability. Every blow was met with inhuman prowess. The battle reached a point where the universe itself seemed to be on the verge of collapse. The epic confrontation between Gohan and Takagami pushed the Saiyan warrior to the limit of his abilities. Despite Gohan's bravery and skill, the Dark God, with unmatched cunning and speed, found an opening in his defense. With a graceful twist, Takagami unleashed a ripping attack, a blast of dark energy that sliced through the air with a malevolent precision. Gohan, surprised by the speed and ferocity of the attack, barely had time to react. The energy wave hit Gohan full on, enveloping him in an explosion of light and darkness. The force of the impact threw Goku's eldest son backwards, causing him to stagger, desperately struggling to stay on his feet. The dark energy left its mark on Gohan's body, marking him with deep, tearing wounds.
Gah! This can't be so strong!
Takagami, with a sinister smile, hovered in the air, observing the result of his devastating attack. The black energy around him seemed to vibrate with satisfaction as Gohan tried to recover.
This is the power you praise so much. You're no match for me, Gohan.
Goku and Vegeta, witnessing the scene from a distance, gritted their teeth helplessly. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment. Goten and Trunks, still injured but recovering, were prepared to rejoin the fight.
Gohan! This damned! We can't let this continue!
Goten and Trunks, sensing the urgency of the situation, approached Gohan to help him. Despite his own injuries, determination shone in his eyes.
Brother, are you alright?
Yes,
But we need a new approach. We're not going to let this guy get away with this.
Meanwhile, Piccolo and the other Z Warriors were also assessing the situation, looking for any opportunity to change the course of the battle. The pressure on them was mounting, and the need to find an effective strategy was becoming more apparent.
We have to work together. Gohan, can you keep fighting?
Gohan nodded, ignoring the pain coursing through his body. His determination had not dulled, on the contrary. Takagami's imminent threat stoked it.
I can't give up, but we need a strategy. Something that could surprise him.
Surprise him, you say?
As the Z Warriors immersed themselves in strategy to counter Takagami, a small distraction took over the battlefield. Goten and Trunks, aware of the need of a different approach, exchanged determined glances. Without saying a word, they assumed the familiar fusion dance stance. The other warriors, immersed in their tactics, barely noticed the sudden disappearance of Goten and Trunks as they performed the fusion. The energy around them condensed into a brilliant flash that revealed Gotenks, Super Saiyan, the powerful fusion of the two young Saiyans.
Ready to give this guy a surprise!
With impressive speed, Gotenks launched himself towards Takagami, who was momentarily startled by the new presence on the battlefield. Gotenks, with his characteristic air of self-sufficiency, began to unleash a series of swift and agile attacks, challenging the Dark God with renewed energy.
Here I come!
Takagami, however, far from being intimidated, smiled sinisterly. With a casual gesture, he deflected Gotenks' attacks as if toying with him.
Is that all you've got, you little fused insect?
Gotenks persisted, intensifying his attacks, trying to find an opening in Takagami's defense. However, the Dark God, with a graceful move, countered each blow with ease.
Come on! It can't be!
In the moment of distraction, Takagami took advantage of the situation. With impressive speed, he launched a blast of dark energy that enveloped Gotenks before he could react. The resulting explosion threw Gotenks backwards, knocking him to the ground unconscious and disfigured.
Gotenks!
This is worse than we thought.
Takagami, now more confident of his superiority, hovered in the air, glaring at the defeated warriors. Goten and Trunks, still unconscious, lay on the ground as Takagami revealed in his moment of victory.
Ha 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 ha! Is this all you offer, Z Warriors? Your desperation only increases my power.
With the outlook darkened by Gotenks' momentary defeat, attention turned to Gohan, who, badly wounded but driven by an inner strength, began to radiate intense energy. The pain in his body seemed to fuel his determination, and a wild golden glow enveloped as his ki reached never-before-seen levels. In the blink of an eye, Gohan transformed into Super Saiyan Phase 3, a form of awesome power that surprised even Takagami. Gohan's hair grew out of control, his muscles swelled, and his expression reflected a mixture of pain and fierce determination.
What is this? A new trick?
Gohan, with a wild roar, launched himself towards Takagami with shocking speed. The force of his blows and the intensity of his attacks shook the battlefield, creating a storm of energy around him. The conflict between light and darkness took on a new dimension as Gohan challenged the limits of his own power.
You're going to pay for what you've done!
The confrontation between Gohan in his Super Saiyan Phase 3 form and Takagami marked a drastic change in the intensity of the battle. The skies, previously serene, witness of the confrontation, darkened with the energy unleashed by both combatants. And each blow resounded like thunder in the vast and silent cosmic space, defying the tranquility of the stars watching from a distance. The explosions of energy briefly illuminated the darkness, creating a chaotic and majestic spectacle at the same time. The flashes of light and shadow intertwined in a frantic dance that reflected the ferocity of the combat. The shockwaves spread out in the distance, distorting space itself and recalling the magnitude of the power unleashed on that battlefield. Each movement was a ballet of strength and dexterity, with Gohan and Takagami challenging each other in a battle that transcended the physical, entering the realms of the mystical and the epic. Their cries of determination were lost amid the din of battle, but their spirits echoed in every exchange of blows, making it clear that this confrontation was not just for dominance or survival, but for the legacy of their lineages and the protection of their worlds. Gohan, his eyes shining with an indomitable determination, channeled all his power in every movement. leaving a trail of energy that shimmered with a force that defied the limits of the unimaginable. His taut muscles, his golden aura glowing with intensity, made him an unstoppable force that sought justice and protection for all those he loved and defended.
You will not escape my justice, Takagami! My determination's like an unbreakable torrent that'll sweep away any darkness you try to sow. Every blow I throw carries with it the strength of all those I protect and defend. I'll not rest until the truth shines on every shadow you've woven with your deceptions. Get ready to face the justice I bring.
Gohan roared with fiery fury, his voice echoing across the battlefield like an echo of the very protective will drive him. Every blow he threw carried with it the emotional burden of years of struggle and sacrifice, the determination of a hero willing to do anything for the well-being of his world and his loved ones. On the other hand, Takagami, with his characteristic agility and calculated cunning, dodged Gohan's attacks with fluid and precise movements. His cold and calculating gaze contrasted with the ferocity of the Saiyan, unveiling an enemy who did not underestimate the threat he faced.
Interesting. I see that the power of the Saiyan pride still burns deep in your being, Gohan, but let me tell you this. However intense it may be, will not be enough to defy the chains of your inevitable fate.
Between each exchange of blows and dodges, the battlefield turned into an epic scenario where two titans collided, not only with their bodies, but with their convictions and purposes. The fate of both was intertwined in a deadly dance where determination, skill, and strength merged in a conflict that transcended the physical and went deep into their warriors' souls. The clash of energies was so intense that the Z warriors felt the pressure and overwhelming weight of the unfolding confrontation. The magnitude of the conflict resonated in every corner of the known universe, like an echo of power that transcended planetary barriers and penetrated the very heart of those who were fighting for survival and justice. The fluctuations in ki were palpable, even to those watching from a distance, like a symphony of opposing forces colliding in a chaotic but harmonious dance. Every member of the Z Warriors could feel the electricity in the air, the tension that preceded every strategic move and every heartbreaking blow. The earth trembled under the influence of the unleashed energy, as if the world itself was responding to the duel of titans being waged on its surface. The skies darkened even more, as if the universe itself was holding its breath at the magnificence and terror of that epic contest. In those moments of crisis, the Z Warriors' determination grew even stronger, fueled by the urgency to protect what they loved and to face any adversity with courage and conviction. It was a reminder that during chaos and destruction, the human spirit could shine with an unshakable light. Piccolo, with his strategic mind sharper as a razor, watched every move with meticulous attention. Every gesture, every spark of unleashed energy carried with it the promise of a decisive change during the battle. His intense and serene gaze concealed a precise calculation as he searched for the perfect opportunity to intervene in support of his disciple. Piccolo, with his gaze lost on the horizon as he pondered the situation deeply, added in a calm but determined voice,
Gohan is channeling an incredible power right now. If we manage to amplify their energy and coordinate a joint attack, we could tip the scales in our favor and find the opportunity we need to change the course of this battle.
His mind worked like a meticulous clock, evaluating possibilities and strategies during the chaos that was unleashed in front of him. Meanwhile, at the epicenter of the conflict, Gohan and Takagami continued their titanic duel, each determined to impose their will and determination on the other. Gohan's transformation into Super Saiyan Stage 3 not only gave him enormous strength, but also imposed a demanding tribute in terms of energy and physical endurance. Gohan, his breathing agitated by the effort and intensity of the moment, expressed with determination in his voice between short breaths,
His power! It's overwhelming! But I must stand firm. I can't fail!
Every word resonated with an unwavering commitment as he prepared to face the ordeal ahead of her, his aura glowing with a mixture of exhaustion and relentless resolve. His spirit stood like a burning flame during the storm, braving adversities with a determination that sprang from the core of his being. On the other hand, Takagami, with his arrogant smile and calculated movements, responded to every attack of Gohan with an inordinate confidence in his own dexterity and power. Takagami, with a voice imbued with superiority and a tone that denoted his absolute confidence in his words, defiantly replied,
"Admiral, but naive. Your determination's remarkable, Gohan, but you must understand that no force in this universe can change your destiny."
His voice resonated with an assurance that seemed to defy all opposition, marking a gap between confidence in his power and Gohan's will. His self-assurance was impenetrable as the toughest steel, a psychological barrier that defied even the storms of energy roaring around him. The confrontation was coming to a head as the Z Warriors, with a mixture of worry and palpable hope in their hearts, prepared to intervene at the precise moment that could change the course of the battle. Vegeta, with his intense and analytical gaze, watched every flash of power unleashed by Gohan with a mixture of admiration and concern in his eyes. Vegeta, with his analytical and sharp mind, was muttering to himself in a barely audible tone due to the palpable tension in the air.
"Gohan's unleashing an incredible power."
His words were a whisper, charged with respect and concern, acknowledging the magnitude of the power that Gohan was unleashing at that critical moment.
"But he must maintain control if he wants to survive this,"
he added with a seriousness that reflected his experience in past battles and his understanding of the dangers of losing control over so much unleashed energy. Goku, the legendary warrior who knows the limits and beyond, nodded solemnly at Vegeta's words. Goku, with a calmness that radiated experience and wisdom, recognized with respect in his voice, "We know what it's like to fight at the limit, but Gohan's showing exceptional courage that inspires us all." His words resonated with the depth of one who has faced countless challenges, understanding the nature of struggle and the sacrifice it entails. With admiration palpable in his tone, recognizing the courage and determination of his son during adversity, his voice, serene but full of respect, reflected the confidence in Gohan's potential to overcome any obstacle. Meanwhile, the energy flowing through Gohan was reaching its peak, manifesting itself in an impressive visual spectacle. Its golden aura radiated an intense light that illuminated the surrounding space, making even the distant stars seem to pale in comparison. Gohan, with a roar full of determination that echoed throughout the battlefield, exclaimed with fervor, addressed to his father and Vegeta, "Father! Vegeta! All of you! This power is to protect you all!" His voice carried with an emotional charge of his commitment to the protection of his loved ones, a promise that manifested itself in every flash of his glowing aura, and in every blow aimed at the darkness that threatened his world. His voice, echoing like an echo of hope amid the chaos of battle, his energy, instead of just being destructive, became a beacon of hope for his allies, instilling strength and determination in their hearts. The buildup of energy finally reached its peak when Gohan unleashed a combined attack so powerful that it seemed to tear the very fabric of space. The surprise on Takagami's face was palpable, reflecting the magnitude of the force unleashed by the young Saiyan.
"Impossible! I can't believe the magnitude of your strength, Gohan! You've unweakened a power that defies all my expectations and strategies so far. But you haven't witnessed everything I can do yet. My abilities are not limited to what you've witnessed so far. And I still have cards to play in this game. Get ready to find out that I'm not as easy an opponent to defeat. The true essence of my power is about to be revealed, and I assure you that it'll surprise you. The battle's only just begun, young Saiyan."
The resulting explosion temporarily blinded everyone present, enveloping the battlefield in a dazzling light that eclipsed even the brightest stars in the firmament. As the luminescence slowly faded away, it revealed an impressive but also disturbing scene. Gohan, still in his Super Saiyan Stage 3 form, was still standing, his figure slender but visibly exhausted at the limit of his strength.
What? Was that enough?
He was panting between short breaths, his eyes reflecting a determination that defied the fatigue that overwhelmed him. But Takagami emerged from the rubble with a defiant smile on his face, was making it clear that the battle was far from over.
"You're barely scratching the surface, Gohan. Your power is awesome, but you can't beat the darkness that is hanging over you. Your determination's commendable, but the real battle is beyond what you can imagine. My shadows are deeper, and my power is vaster than you think. Get ready to face the true essence of the dark power.
Gohan's energy was fluctuating, a clear sign that his transformation was reaching its limit. The Z Warriors watched with anxiety and determination as the battle reached a critical point. Victory seemed elusive, but their fighting spirit remained unwavering in the darkness that threatened to devour them all.
No! I can't give up! This power! It's to protect everyone! To my family! To the Earth!
Each word came out between agitated breaths, but charged with an unwavering determination, revealing the deep sense of responsibility and love that drove their struggle. His voice, though weakened by the effort, resounded with a firmness that defined the adversities he faced.
Oh, what a pathetic nobility! Do you think you can fight my darkness with simple desires for protection? Your strength is impressive, but your naivety condemns you. Don't you understand that in this world, nobility and desires for protection are as fragile as glass in front of the tide? No matter how much power you possess, the darkness will always find a crack through which to infiltrate and corrupt everything you value. It's only a matter of time before you realize the futility of your efforts, Gohan.
Gohan, his aura flickering, braced himself for another assault, feeling every fiber of his being burning with determination. However, the accumulated fatigue and the marked wounds on his skin were beginning to take their toll, weighing like chains on his struggle. Every move was a battle against exhaustion and pain, a test of endurance that tested his courage and perseverance. The vision of Takagami, his implacable enemy, distorted slightly before his fatigued eyes, reflecting not only the tumult of the physical battle, but also the dark and twisted connection Takagami maintained with the source of power that fed him. This connection, like a cursed bond, gave Takagami a ruthless strength, but also dragged him into the maelstrom of corruption and out of control. During the fray, Gohan found himself facing not only a formidable opponent, but also the shadow of an evil influence that threatened to consume everything. Every blow thrown and blocked resonated with the intensity of an epic battle between light and darkness, between the determination of a hero and the seduction of a dark and forbidden power. Despite the adversities and uncertainty that surrounded him, Gohan clung to hope like the beacon in a storm, remembering the bonds of friendship and love that drove him to move forward. Every beat of his heart resonated with the will to protect what he valued most in the world, facing the challenge with courage and sacrifice, knowing that true strength lay in his indomitable spirit and in his determination to never give up in the face of the darkness that threatened his world and soul.
Gohan, don't wear yourself out too much. Stay focused and in control. Remember, that true strength lies not only in raw power, but in the ability to stay calm and think strategically amid chaos. Do not underestimate your opponent, and do not get carried away by blind rage. That determination must be backed by intelligence and control. Make every hit count, and don't get distracted from your goal.
His words, full of advice and warnings, sought to remind Gohan of the importance of the mind in battle, in addition to physical strength.
The Super Saiyan Phase 3 form consumes a lot of energy. Gohan needs to find a balance between his power and his stamina. He must learn to control the flow of his ki to maintain his strength without exhausting himself quickly. The key is efficiency. Every movement must be precisely calculated and executed to maximize the impact without wasting energy. It's a challenge to master this state, but if Gohan manages to find that harmony, his potential will be truly formidable.
His words, full of experience and knowledge, sought to guide Gohan towards a better understanding of how to use his power without compromising his endurance in battle. As Gohan and Takagami continued their confrontation, Goku's eyes, a symbol of hope for everyone, shone with determination during the intense strife. His strategic mind was working at full speed, analyzing every move of his son and enemies to find the perfect crack in Takagami's defense. Every glimmer in his gaze reflects years of training, epic battles, and an unwavering desire to protect those he loved. In the distance, Vegeta stood in a fighting position, his Saiyan pride burning like an unstoppable flame. His defiant aura and combat experience combined into a formidable force, ready to unleash his power at the precise moment. Piccolo, with his calculated serenity, was watching the battle with sharp eyes, ready to strategically intervene and balance the scales in favor of his comrades. Meanwhile, Goten and Trunks, the young warriors, were in the middle of the recovery process after the intense confrontation against Takagami. Despite their damage received, his determination did not waver. Both focused on channeling their ki with precision, taking advantage of every breath to restore their energies and strengthen their bodies. Goten, with his indomitable spirit and his face marked with determination, closed his eyes with concentration as he felt the flow of vital energy revitalize his fatigued muscles. "We have to be ready to return to the battle at any moment," he thought to himself, remembering the responsibility he shared with his friend Trunks to protect his family and his home. On the other hand, Trunks, with his mind focused and his ki shining with renewed intensity, was striving to reach an optimal state of recovery. "We can't afford to let our guard down," he reflected, aware of the challenges they still faced and the need to be prepared to face any adversity that stood in their way. Both young warriors knew that the battle was not over yet. With determination in their hearts and their ki channeling with precision, they were preparing for the next chapter in their fight for the protection of their world. "Gohan's giving his best. His strength and determination are impressive, but we need to find an opening to channel more energy towards him and empower his power to the fullest. We must all join forces and find a way to support him in this crucial battle. Our connection as a family and as a team is our greatest strength. Let's make every hit and every effort count to protect our home and those we love." His words, full of determination and hope, reflected his confidence in the team's ability to overcome any challenge when working together. "Your resistance is admirable, but useless. My power is absolute. No matter how much they fight, they won't be able to stop me. My strength is unshakable, and my determination relentless. There is no escape from my dominion. It's time for you to give up and accept your fate under my control." Every word was loaded with arrogance and certainty as Takagami continued to unleash his dark power with ruthless ferocity. Gohan, with a superhuman effort, managed to deflect Takagami's attacks and counterattacked with a burst of brilliant energy. The collision of powers created a shockwave that shook the nearby atmosphere. "I will not allow you to destroy what I love! My bonds and my strength are greater than any darkness you could throw! I'm ready to face any challenge and overcome any obstacle to ensure a secure future for everyone! There will be no place for destruction in my world!"
Your emotions make you weak, Gohan. The real strength lies in the darkness. Your love and your bonds are chains that prevent you from reaching your true potential. Don't you see that the darkness offers unlimited and unrestricted power? Abandon your illusions of grandeur, young Saiyan. Face the truth that only darkness can bring you true strength and absolute dominion over the world.
Every word was imbued with an icy arrogance and a fanatical belief in the corrupting power of darkness. Takagami sought to sow doubts and weakness in Gohan's mind, challenging his conception of strength and courage. The struggle became more intense with each pressing moment. Gohan, despite showing obvious exhaustion with every short breath, remained firm and undetermined, refusing to back down from the challenge Takagami posed. His eyes reflected an unwavering determination as he faced the malevolent machinations of his enemy. However, Takagami's evil cunning was revealed in all its magnitude when he began to manipulate the environment around him with dark mastery. The dark creatures had summoned with his sinister magic were already at the edge of the surface, ready to emerge and join the battle with uncontrollable ferocity. The air was charged with an ominous presence as the shadows of those creatures danced unexpectedly, eager to join the conflict and show their destructive power. Faced with the imminent threat, the Z warriors did not hesitate to prepare to face these creatures that represented an unknown but tangible danger. Vegeta, with his characteristic defiant tone, exclaimed as he adjusted his combat posture, "I'll not allow those abominations to ruin our path to victory. It's time to show them the true power of a Saiyan." Piccolo, the group's calm strategist, quickly assessed the situation and proposed a plan of action.
We're facing a cunning enemy who uses manipulation as a weapon. We must act with coordination and precision. Gohan, you now take care of containing the creatures. Vegeta, Goku, keep the pressure on Takagami and don't let him breathe easy.
Goku, with a determined smile on his face, nodded energetically.
We have it, Piccolo. I'm confident that together we can overcome any challenge that comes our way. We're going to give our best.
Goten and Trunks, the young warriors, who were always looking to prove their bravery, exchanged a look of complacency before joining the plan.
Yes, let's show these monsters what it means to be a real team.
Determination shone in the eyes of each Z warrior as they prepared for the upcoming showdown, their hearts resonating with the memory of Ten Shinhan and Chaos's courageous sacrifice. Those moments of heroism and camaraderie resonated like an echo in their souls, reminding them of the price they sometimes had to pay to protect the world they loved. Goku, with a silent bow to his fallen friends, took a moment to remember his valuable lessons of courage and determination.
Our friend showed us that even in the darkest moments, we can find the strength to face any challenge. His sacrifice will not be in vain as long as we keep fighting and keep the flame of hope alive in our hearts. Every blow we take, every obstacle we face is proof of our determination and our commitment to a better future. We'll not let his sacrifice be forgotten. Let's keep fighting with all our heart and spirit.
Vegeta, with an intense gaze fixed on the horizon, added solemnly,
Every battle teaches us something new. We must honor his memory by overcoming our limits, protecting this world, not only for ourselves, but for those who are no longer there.
Piccolo, the serene strategist, reflected on the importance of learning from each experience.
Every battle, every loss, strengthens us and teaches us to be better warriors. Let's move forward with determination and wisdom.
Goten and Trunks, the young warriors, full of energy and competitive spirit, exchanged a look of respect towards the heroes of the past.
We're going to make their bravery and sacrifice worthwhile. We'll fight with everything we have.
The memory of Ten Shinhan and Chaos became a flame that fanned the determination and fighting spirit of the Z warriors. With their hearts united in a common purpose, they prepared to face the next challenge with the strength of those who came before them, ready to write the next chapter in the history of defending the Earth against the forces of evil. The battle reached unprecedented levels of intensity, with every move unleashing a wave of energy that shook the battlefield. Gohan, with his indomitable spirit, led the charge against the emerging shadows, channeling his ki into powerful explosions that dispelled the creatures one after another. Every flash of light harbored the determination to protect their loved ones and their home from the darkness that threatened to consume them.
Mr. Piccolo, behind you! Watch your back! The enemy's trying to surprise us with sneak attacks! We can't afford to let our guard down for 1 second in this battle! Our togetherness is our greatest strength, and together we'll overcome any challenge that comes our way! I trust in your strategic wisdom, Mr. Piccolo, but I'm also here to support you in every move! Let's move forward with determination and protect what we value with all our might!
Piccolo responded quickly, deflecting the attack with an energy shield.
Thank you, Gohan. Your quick alertness and attention to detail are crucial in this battle. Our coordination and communication are what will keep us one step ahead in the face of our enemies. Let's keep working together. Every move counts in this matchup.
By his side, Piccolo displayed his tactical ingenuity with mastery, drawing lines of defense and counterattack with pinpoint accuracy. His strategies were like chess moves on the battlefield, anticipating the enemy's moves and coordinating attacks to maximize the impact. Between them, an almost perfect synchronicity is woven, where Gohan's brute force found balance at Piccolo's strategic cunning.
Vegeta, get ready for our combined attack! We can't hold any back anymore! It's time to deploy all our power and show them what we're capable of! Together, we're unstoppable, Vegeta! Let's prove once again why we're the most powerful Z warriors in the universe! Let's go!
You don't need to tell me, Kakaroto. I'm always ready for the combat. Our combined power will overcome any obstacle that stands in our way. Get ready to witness the true strength of the Saiyan race. Let's go!
Every clash of powers, every rumble of explosions resounded like a chant of resistance, bravery during chaos. The bounds of camaraderie and trust between the Z Warriors were strengthened by adversity, reminding them that together they were more than the sum of their individual abilities. In this ballet of strength and strategy, where each movement had the weight of survival and the hope of a future in which light would prevail over shadows. Vegeta and Goku, in their eternal friendly rivalry forged in countless battles, coordinated their attacks with an almost telepathic synchronization. Like two warriors who share a unique and deep bond, their fiery determination was reflected in every move, every punch, and every burst of energy they threw at their formidable opponent, Takagami.
Goku, it's time to unite our powers to take down this guy once and for all. We'll not allow it to continue sowing chaos and destruction. Our combined strength will be their undoing. Take this, Takagami! This is the end that awaits you for challenging the Z Warriors.
I'm with you, Vegeta. There's no turning back now. Together, we'll put an end to this threat once and for all. Let's get him!
The latter, a formidable adversary in his own right, was forced to quickly divert his attention between dodging the quick and precise strikes of the Saiyans and dealing with the strategic cunning of Gohan and the tactical prowess of Piccolo.
Don't underestimate my powers, Saiyans. My abilities go beyond what you can imagine. Your determination's admirable, but it won't be enough to stop me. Get ready to know the true darkness that resides in this universe.
The frantic dance of attacks and defenses between the protagonists became a ballet of opposing forces, where speed and power merged into an unparalleled combat choreography. Each shock of energy unleashed explosions of ki that lit up the sky like shooting stars on a stormy night, painting the firmament with flashes of power and determination. The battlefield was transformed into an epic scenario where the fates of the combatants were intertwined in a cosmic drama of legendary proportions.
Gohan, now's your time to shine. Use this opportunity to show your true power and determination. We're all counting on you to turn the tide of this battle. Don't hold back. Give your best and make every hit count. The fate of everyone depends on your courage and strength in this crucial moment.
Come on, Dad! Mr. Piccolo! We won't stop until we beat you! Our determination's stronger than ever, and together, we're unstoppable! This is our moment to show that together, we can overcome any obstacle! Let's trust in our bonds, and fight with everything we have!
Meanwhile, Gohan's relentless determination and Piccolo's tactical wisdom added layers of complexity to the conflict, consistently challenging Takagami's strategies and moves. The intensity of the confrontation reached its peak, and with each hero and villain deploying their maximum potential in search of victory. Amid the chaos of battle, friendship and honor and inner strength shone as beacons of hope in a universe fraught with unfathomable challenges and dangers. Goten and Trunks, following the meticulous plan laid out by Piccolo to the latter, demonstrated a perfect synchronization that bordered on the supernatural. As young Saiyan warriors, their connection was more than a simple strategic alliance. It was the manifestation of a deep and lasting friendship, forged in countless shared trainings and battles. Every movement, every gesture, flowed between them in an innate harmony that only the strongest bonds could sustain.
Goten, your task is to maintain the defensive perimeter. Don't let anything surprise us from behind. Trunks, look for any opportunity to counterattack. We need to take advantage of every gap in their defense to turn the tide in this battle.
Understood, Mr. Piccolo. I'll be attentive and make sure that nothing takes us by surprise.
Following Piccolo's instructions, Goten unleashed bursts of energy with the dexterity and speed typical of the Saiyan lineage.
Come on, Trunks. Let's keep the pressure on. Let's not give up and take every opportunity to move forward.
His attacks were precise and forceful, outlining a defensive perimeter around the group with an intensity that left his opponents breathless. Meanwhile, Trunks, a skilled wielder of the energy sword, executed precise and elegant cuts that perfectly complemented Goten's strategic defense.
Don't let any of them through, Goten. Keep our fronts safe while we look for weaknesses in their formation. Let's keep pushing.
Each movement drew lines of glowing energy in the air, creating a dynamic and effective wall of protection that neutralized any threat that dared to get too close to their companions. The combination of Goten and Trunks' skills not only demonstrated their individual mastery, but also their ability to work in a team in a fluid and coordinated way. Their actions were not only the result of practice and training, but also of a deep mutual understanding that allowed them to anticipate each other's movements with pinpoint accuracy. On the battlefield, the symbiosis was their greatest strength, making them an unstoppable force that courageously and determinedly defended those considered their family and home. The battle that was being fought was a whirlwind of energy and strategy, where every move had a deep meaning, and every decision impacted on the future of the contest. Goten and Trunks, the young Saiyan warriors, showed amazing coordination as they threw themselves into combat with a mixture of bravery and dexterity. His movements were like a martial dance, fluid and precise, designed to unbalance the dark creatures summoned by Takagami.
Trunks, to your right! Understood.
The voices of the young people echoed among the booms of explosions and the clash of powers. Each exchange of blows was a symphony of ki, a manifestation of the determination not to give ground in the face of the darkness that threatened to engulf them. Meanwhile, Gohan, with his indomitable spirit, deployed his ki in explosions of controlled energy, creating glowing spheres that exploded with force on impact against the shadows that rushed over them.
We can't give up! Our world depends on this! Every strike, every strategy, everything counts in this crucial battle! Let's keep fighting until the end!
His voice resonated with conviction, injecting courage into his companions. Piccolo, the calm but ruthless strategist, extended his arms with authority, generating defensive barriers that protected the group from surprise attacks. His eyes observed the battlefield with a calculated calm, evaluating every movement of the enemy to find the precise moment to counterattack.
Keep the pressure constant. We cannot allow them to make up ground. Every breakthrough we make is crucial to maintaining our advantage. Keep attacking relentlessly.
The sound of energy crashes and explosions was deafening, but during the chaos, the group's determination and unity shone like beacons of hope in the darkest night. Each of the Z warriors knew that they were not only fighting for their lives, but for the future of their home and the generations to come. Every attack, every block was another step towards victory or defeat, and they were not willing to give in to adversity. Amid the furious fray, every strategic move and every technique deployed by the Z Warriors reflected years of training and experience, as well as a bond of trust and camaraderie that strengthened them in the most difficult moments. The coordination between them was a show of synchronization and dexterity, a chaotic but harmonious dance of attacks and defenses that kept at bay the dark forces that tried to dominate them. However, it was at a crucial moment, when hope seemed to be faltering in the face of Takagami's relentless persistence, that Goku and Vegeta, the legendary Saiyans whose power transcended known limits, demonstrated once again why they were revered as the most powerful warriors in the universe. With millimetric synchronization that only they could achieve after years of training in epic battles, they unleashed a devastating combined attack that shattered Takagami's defenses, leaving them exposed and vulnerable in the face of the final counterattack of the brave defenders of the Earth. The impact of their combined energy resounded on the battlefield like divine thunder, shaking reality itself with its overwhelming power. The energy blasts and shockwaves spread out like a gale, sweeping away any obstacles in their way and marking a decisive turn in the confrontation. The hearts of the Z Warriors swelled with renewed hope as they witnessed the result of the bravery and determination embodied in Goku and Vegeta, who were not only allies, but also rivals, who raised each other to new heights of power and dexterity. This epic moment not only symbolized the brute strength of the legendary Saiyans, but also the depth of their connection as battle companions and friends. Her self-sacrifice and dedication to protecting her home and loved ones shone with an intensity that defied the shadows of despair. With Takagami vulnerable before them, Earth's heroes prepared for the final assault, determined to put an end to the dark threat looming over their world and restore the lost peace. As this crucial opportunity approached, Gohan and Piccolo, two warriors whose togetherness goes beyond simple camaraderie, combined their powers with synchronization and understanding that only the closest battle partners could achieve. With relentless determination and a strategic focus sharp as the edge of a sword, they faced the creatures summoned by Takagami, with a bravery that inspired everyone present on the battlefield.
Mr. Piccolo, keep the rear guard. I'm going to the front. It is crucial to maintain our formation and protect our backs as we move forward towards the main battle. I trust you to keep us safe from behind.
Understood, Gohan. Don't let your guard down. Our coordination is key for being victorious. Stay alert and move forward with determination. Together we'll overcome this challenge.
Gohan's energy, bright and powerful as the sun as it peaks, was intertwined with Piccolo's tactical cunning and dexterity, creating a symphony of power and skill that defied expectations. Each coordinated movement between them was a masterful combined dance, where offensive and defense intertwined in a lethal harmony. The creatures summoned by Takagami, who once posed a formidable threat, now found themselves at a disadvantage in the face of the unbreakable union of these two exceptional warriors. The battlefield lit up with flashes of brilliant energy as Gohan and Piccolo unleashed their full potential, overcoming every obstacle with steely determination and calculated strategies. The trust between them was palpable, a connection that transcended words and manifested itself in every punch and every block. With each enemy defeated, their path to Takagami cleared, bringing them closer and closer to the final victory they sought to protect their world and their loved ones.
Gohan, you need to buy time. I will prepare my best attack to defeat these creatures. I trust you can keep them busy while I get ready. Together, we can change the course of this battle.
Mr. Piccolo, I'll do my best to buy time. My goal is to keep these creatures at bay as long as possible so I can prepare their attack. Trust me, I won't let you down.
The moment of truth was approaching, and Gohan was advancing with a firm step, while Piccolo prepared his best attack to defeat these creatures summoned by Bahamut's disciple and put an end to the darkness that had threatened his home. His fiery determination was a beacon of hope for those who witnessed his courageous struggle, reminding them that strength lies in the unity and indomitable spirit of those who fight for justice and peace. The critical moment came when every move decided the fate of the battle. Gohan, in a last effort, took his final form. With his bright and determined aura, advanced to the front of the battle line, facing the dark creatures with a mixture of bravery and strategy, as he blocked the onslaughts of the shadows with his dazzling ki. The creatures summoned by Takagami were not easy rivals to beat, but Gohan in his ultimate form took a lot of confidence and began to face the creatures they are facing. Gohan knew that keeping the creatures at bay was crucial to allowing Piccolo to unleash his full power. While Gohan struggled to contain the shadows with his fast movements and powerful attacks, Piccolo concentrated his energy preparing for the most powerful technique. The tension on the battlefield was palpable, but there was no room for doubt. Confidence in their abilities and in their partner was the key to facing the darkness that threatened to consume them.
Gohan, keep it up. You're demonstrating exceptional courage and impressive mastery on the battlefield. Every movement of yours is a barrier that prevents the advancement of these creatures. It's crucial that you hold this firmness for a few more moments while I finalize the preparations for my final ultimate technique. I have full confidence in your abilities and determination. Remember that our teamwork is the key to overcoming any challenge. Keep the pressure on and don't let your guard down. Together we can turn the tide of this battle and protect our loved ones.
Understood, Mr. Piccolo. I'll not allow them to advance a single step further. You can trust me. I'm fully prepared to take on this responsibility and keep these creatures at bay. Together, we can overcome this and protect our loved ones. My determination's unwavering, and I'll not back down in the face of this challenge, because I know that every stroke I stop here is a step towards victory. Our teamwork and mutual trust will give us the strength to prevail in this battle. Let's show them what we're capable of and write our own destiny in this struggle.
The scene unfolds with increasing intensity as Gohan definitively plunges into the maelstrom of combat. His determination is reflected in every gesture, in every tense muscle, and in every flash of energy that emanates from his being. The creatures summoned by Takagami's nightmarish creatures with twisted shapes and burning eyes fiercely advance towards Gohan, seeking to overwhelm him with their numbers and their uncontrolled fury. Gohan, however, is not daunted. His ki shines around him like an aura of power, marking every movement with a clear purpose. When the first creature lunges with sharp claws, Gohan responds with a precise block, channeling his energy to stop the attack with a glowing barrier. The resulting impact makes the ground tremble under his feet, but Gohan remains steadfast, his eyes fixed on his opponent. Each subsequent blow is an exhibition of martial skill and ki control. Gohan moves with grace and speed, dodging the onslaughts of creatures with fluid movements, and countering with calculated blows. His fists and legs turn into bursts of energy, hitting the enemies with force and precision. Each impact causes bursts of energy that light up the battlefield, drawing bright arcs in the air and kicking up swirls of dust around them. The creatures do not retreat easily. Their resistance is stubborn, and their thirst for destruction is insatiable. Gohan is forced to deploy more advanced techniques, combining his speed and strength with concentrated energy attacks. Ki waves cut through the air as Gohan releases bursts of controlled energy, seeking to weaken his opponents and open gaps in their defenses. Every block, every dodge, is a dance of anticipation and reaction. Gohan relies on his training and his intellect, reading the movements of the creatures, responding with precise movements. Your connection to your spiritual energy is evident in every movement, every pulse of energy emanating from your being. Meanwhile, Piccolo completes the charge of his definitive technique, his absolute concentration palpable in the air. The sound of his pent-up energy resonates on the battlefield, adding a layer of palpable tension to the charged atmosphere of battle. Gohan feels Piccolo's accumulated power as a beacon of hope and a call to redouble his efforts.
This is our chance, Gohan. Keep the pressure on them, and don't give them any respite. Every move of yours is crucial right now, as we are close to changing the course of this battle. I trust in your ability to keep them at bay, while we prepare our counterattack. Keep your determination, and keep going. Together, we can make it happen.
Gohan nods with determination as he prepares for the next attack. The combat dance between Gohan and the creatures reach its climax when Gohan, with a graceful twist, unleashes a series of energy blasts that cut through the enemy ranks. The creatures recoil momentarily, their twisted forms showing signs of weakness for the first time.
Goten! Trunks! I need you to be alert! Mr. Piccolo is preparing a powerful attack! Move quickly and maintain your defenses! Our coordination is crucial at this critical moment of the battle. We can't afford to make mistakes now. I'm confident in your ability to respond quickly and effectively. Stay focused and keep fighting with determination. Come on, we can still turn the tide of this battle in our favor.
The moment came when Gohan, with a precise movement, opened a breach in the creature's defenses, allowing Piccolo to unleash his devastating attack. With a resounding scream, Piccolo releases his ultimate technique, a beam of concentrated energy that cuts through the sky like a fiery comet.
Makankasapo!
The pure energy swirls frantically around the lightning, forming a spiral of controlled energy that seems to dance in the air with calculated ferocity. The extreme concentration of energy causes a burst that radiates a dazzling radiance, as if the sun itself were transcending on the battlefield. The energy beam, with its incomparable power, transverses the enemy ranks with pinpoint accuracy, neutralizing the creatures with an amazing efficiency that takes the breath away of those who witness its devastating impact. The initial explosion is only the prelude to the destruction that is unleashed. The torrent of concentrated energy envelops the creatures in a lethal embrace, eroding their forms with an overwhelming intensity. Each wave of energy emanating from the ray is like a chisel, carving out space itself, gradually disintegrating the creatures that meet its path with an inexorable inevitability. The show is both majestic and terrifying, with the energy displayed manifesting in vibrant colors that collide and intertwine in a chaotic dance. The controlled destruction leaves in its wake a trail of disintegration that seems to defy the very laws of physics, demonstrating the supreme power that resides in the hands of those who master the arts of combat and energy control. The battlefield gradually quieted down, the dark threat dissipating with each defeated creature. Gohan and Piccolo, breathing heavily, but with a satisfied smile, met in the center of the battlefield, knowing that their teamwork and determination had tipped the scales toward victory. Now, with the road to Takagami clear, they were preparing for the final assault, confident that their union would return their greatest strength. The battlefield gradually quieted down, the echo of controlled destruction echoing through the air as the enemy creatures vanquished before the combined might of Gohan and Piccolo. The glow of the dissipated energy hinted at the near victory, marked by the determination and teamwork of the brave warriors Z, Gohan, and Piccolo, breathing heavily but with a smile of satisfaction on their faces, met in the center of the battlefield, exchanging looks of complicity that spoke of a bond forged in battle and camaraderie. Meanwhile, in another part of the battlefield, Goku and Vegeta were facing Takagami in an epic duel that defied the limits of known power. With their faces marked with determination and their eyes shining with a fierce intensity, the two legendary Saiyans demonstrated once again why they were considered the most powerful warriors in the universe. His movements were like a whirlwind of quick attacks and precise defenses, each strike resounding like thunder in the energy-charged air.
Vegeta, keep the pressure on! Let's finish this together!
Of course, Kakarot. I'm not gonna let this guy beat us.
The intensity of their confrontation filled the battlefield, making the ground shake with every energy shock. Takagami, although powerful, was in a challenging position in the face of the unstoppable combination of Goku and Vegeta.
I'll not underestimate your power, Saiyans. I recognize their bravery, but their determination will not be enough to stop me. My strength is unshakable. My power is unstoppable. Get ready to face the real darkness.
What will happen next? Find out in the next chapter. Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.